Marcus Aurelius and the Art of War, a story of wisdom, battle, and inner strength in the context of the modern era.
The restaurant is nearly empty. A few customers sit at tables, but the energy is low. A man sits behind the counter, staring at the bills piled up in front of him. He rubs his temples in frustration. Aman, grumbling to himself, frustrated, "This economy is killing me. Prices are too high. Customers are spending less. What am I supposed to do?" The door chimes as an old man, Mr. Henry, walks in, carrying a small book in his hand. He orders a coffee and sits at the counter, noticing Aman's stressed expression. Mr. Henry, calmly, "Business slow today?" Aman, scoffing, "Business is slow every day. The government raised taxes, inflation is through the roof, and people don't eat out like they used to. What can I do? I have no control over this." Mr. Henry, "Do you know who Marcus Aurelius was?" Aman, shaking his head uninterested, "Some philosopher?" Mr. Henry, smiling, "More than that. He was a Roman emperor who ruled during wars, plagues, and economic crises. But instead of complaining, he focused on what he could control."
Marcus Aurelius was not just an emperor, he was a Stoic philosopher. Despite facing wars, betrayals, and plagues, he remained calm because he focused only on what he could control. Marcus Aurelius was a leader who believed that true power lay in wisdom and self-discipline. While his generals prepared for battle, he thought deeply and planned the perfect strategy.
"Messenger, Emperor, the enemy is pressing forward. They outnumber us 2-1. What are your orders?" Marcus Aurelius, calmly, "Numbers do not dictate the outcome of a battle. Strategy does. We will use their strength against them." With precise calculations, Marcus Aurelius orders his forces to feign retreat, leading the enemy into a narrow valley surrounded by high cliffs. Where other leaders saw numbers, Marcus saw an opportunity. He knew the enemy would chase them into the valley, believing the Romans were on the verge of collapse. But it was all a deception. A barrage of arrows rains down from the cliffs, cutting through the enemy ranks. Panic spreads among them as Roman cavalry emerges from both sides, closing the valley's entrance. The enemy is trapped. Soon the enemy surrendered, dropping their weapons in defeat.
Marcus Aurelius understood that the greatest victory was one where war could end without unnecessary slaughter. He approached the defeated commander and extended a hand of peace. "A triumphant victory, Emperor. Our tactics were flawless. We should celebrate." Marcus Aurelius, war is never to be celebrated. It is a necessity of survival. But the true strength of a leader is knowing when to fight and when to seek peace.
Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
Aman leans forward, intrigued. He looks at the book, then at Mr. Henry. Aman. So, he didn't waste time complaining? He just did what he could? Mr. Henry, nodding. Mr. Henry said, "Exactly. And that's what you need to do." He gestures around the restaurant, and Aman suddenly understands what he must do as he looks at his old, dusty restaurant. He immediately took action and transformed his restaurant with new decor, introduced a media campaign, and improved customer service. After some days, Aman, grinning, "See this, Mr. Henry. Business is booming again." "Thank you." Mr. Henry, nodding approvingly. "And what changed?" Aman, laughing. "Not the economy. It's just me. I stopped complaining and started doing something about it." They both laughed. For more motivational and historical stories like this, please do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment.